I guess I'll start with last week. We weren't very happy with how we played. I think the biggest issue I thought we tackled really poorly. I think fundamentally was really, and had some really poor times. I think we got to do a better job teaching it. We've been banging on our angles, banging on our leverage, and I thought Saturday was the worst we've played in that department. And then I think what third downs was really the story of the game. We've been pretty good on third downs the first 3 games of the season against teams that I think that were a little bit more diverse on third downs. Some of the third downs they converted, we practiced that exact route, that exact protection, everything the same, and we just didn't get it done. So I got to do a better job coaching it. I think we did not handle adversity well for the second week in a row, which I think is a challenge when you're taking over a team that hasn't had success. We've talked about it a bunch. I think we've got to start seeing some action out of it, and we got to move forward.
How do you coach tackling in like a game week? You put more focus on it.
I think the best thing we do is we show it to the whole defense, like see where everybody else on the defense is. Like the one DJ missed. When you have leverage on a running back, you have advantage. Right? The word leverage means advantage, right? So when you have advantage on a running back, you have to maintain that advantage. And if you give it away, you're cutting off the other 10 guys on the defense. And that's what happened. Right? The other guys were chasing, expecting the ball to be delivered to a certain spot. And then when you miss, if you have outside leverage and you miss and you give up that outside leverage, the rest of the defense is hunting, thinking the ball's coming back to them, and it doesn't work. So that was really the fundamentals of tackling. I think we did okay with. I think it's more the fundamentals of leverage and team defense. Team defense is really important. Correct.
Are those what ties into the turnover issues that Mac was talking about, needing to force more turnovers? Those go hand in hand, I guess.
We've got the ball out a few times and haven't recovered it, which is not. I think fumbles are a little bit of a product of stopping the run. I think turnovers in general are a matter of stopping the run. So I thought Saturday, I thought we were very efficient in our run defense. We gave up the one long one on the corner fire where I thought we should have had it tackled, and then the long quarterback scramble was a drop back pass where we screwed it up. But I thought our efficiency in the run game was pretty good. And when you stop the run, what happens is now the throw game becomes something you can attack more, and that causes strip sacks and that causes fumbles. But certainly, right, when you have bad leverage on the football and you lose leverage, the ball doesn't get exposed as much. We talk to our guys all the time about when the ball's exposed. So if the ball carrier's got the ball in this hand and I'm coming from this angle, that's where strips and fumbles come from. And so if you're giving those opportunities up because of poor angles, then yeah, you get less strips at the football.
Well, going back to what you were saying with Ross's question, Mac mentioned after the game Saturday that containment was an issue on some of those third downs. Were you just describing containment, and if so, how do you fix something like that?
No, I was talking more about when the ball carrier's got the ball in his hand and he's running, and we're inside out or outside in. Certainly, the long run we lost contain on the quarterback scramble. You with me? Sometimes containment issues are a byproduct of the pressure we're running. And we're trying to flush them a certain way or get a protection. So the one third down he converted where Jeremiah got the targeting penalty, we have a guy come scot-free and he falls down. So I don't have great answers for that. Don't fall down. So I think part of that is guys doing their job and staying up and when you have a chance to make a play, making a play. And I thought, most third downs this year when we've had those opportunities, we've made those plays. Certainly, containment on the quarterback is an issue. Sometimes when you're trying to maximize your pressure and maximize your coverage, sometimes the containment issue is going to happen.
How do you slow down Clemson's offense?
So I think they're really talented. I think they're really well coached. I was at the Broyles Award last year with Tony and with Jeff. I think they're really good football coaches, and they got really talented guys. I think you have to you have to play very fundamentally very, very sound. I think they block you very well, and I think the quarterback is. I haven't seen one better. So I just think you've got to minimize the damage when they get you in a bad play. And that's what we talked to our kids about that yesterday. Is some teams, when I have a bad call on defense against a certain play, we've got to minimize that against them. If you do not minimize it, it's major problems. And I think the teams that have done a good job against them have minimized the damage when they've had a bad a route against a certain coverage or a run against a certain front. So I think that's it. And then I think you've got to do a really, really good job, on the edge in coverage, at corner and coverage. They're going to make you play man-to-man. So we got to do a really good job when we're playing press man.
So when you see a team that is as talented as them and as favored as them, what approach do you take to still try to keep their confidence up that they can beat them, or do they already have that?
Yeah, if we don't have confidence, then gosh, I'm doing an awful job. So I think they, we're going to go play, we're going to go compete. Our kids are excited to go play, and we've played a lot. We've played some pretty talented guys already. Miami's got some really talented guys. So I think we've just got to go play, and we got to worry about ourselves more. I don't care who we play this week. We got to fix our own problems. If we fix our own problems, we'll be better.
You say that Trevor Lawrence, you haven't seen a quarterback better than him. What separates him from every single quarterback you've seen throughout your coaching career?
He's 6'6". He the most impressive play I've seen from him this year is he throws an interception against Georgia Tech to Georgia Tech's corner who's running for a touchdown, and he reels him in like an all-pro safety. So I think he can legit run. He's 6'6". I don't think he gets fooled very often, if at all. He's got huge targets, so the catch radius that he can throw to is really good. So a lot of quarterbacks, a guy's covered and they don't get, you got 6'4" receivers all over the place. So like he can throw the ball to a spot where they can go get it and the corners can't. And his arm, so I think his arm velocity, talk about like arm talent, like his ability even as a 6'6" kid to throw the ball and get it out of his hands fast, I think is really special. So I think, I don't want to speak for NFL guys, but I would say there's a lot of NFL franchises that would trade for him right now. So I think he's pretty good. Yeah.
If there is a weakness in his game this season, it's been throwing interceptions. How do you take advantage of that?
Hope he throws it to us. Yeah, I think some kids have made some really nice plays against him. Some balls have been tipped, but I don't think there's been an interception thrown. Maybe there's one I can think of, but there's been very few where you're like, wow, he made a mistake. So you got to cover.
Jay, when I've asked Mac about bad starts as a team, he pointed specifically to the second quarter, and you compare that to the fourth quarter where you guys have been really good.
Yeah.
For you, what are you seeing different maybe in your defense in, say, that fourth quarter versus that second quarter?
I don't know. So I think when things have gone bad for us, we haven't responded very well. And I think once we've settled them down and they've got back to playing the way we want to play and the way we talk about playing every day, then we've been pretty successful. And I think they've handled some adjustments well, which is always a concern. I think when you're starting from scratch is the ability to go back and say, hey, remember we did this. Let's play it like this coverage. Let's fit the run like this play. Their ability to do that's been pretty impressive, I think. I just think we need to come out and when things go poorly, view it as an opportunity instead of a challenge. And I think we have in defense we have done a poor job with that, and that's our message going forward. To me, great defenses, elite defenses, when the ball gets turned over, you go stop them, and we have not done a great job with that.
Going off a previous point, this week, do you coach the team and say they're going to score some touchdowns on you? They're going to make some big plays. They're going to make some big throws. Do you say that, or how do you kind of coach the fact that this is a really good team that's going to make plays, going to get chunk yards?
I think every week, Ross, we talk about like, hey, look, this team's pretty talented, and if we don't handle this the right way, they're going to make a big play. You with me? I think on film, our kids see the film and they see that that's the case with them. But I hate to sound like a cliche coach guy, but like we're not going to coach any different because it's Clemson versus App State versus Miami versus South Carolina versus anybody. Like we're just not. We coach the same way. The kids expect that. I think if I came in and all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to do this now. We're going to play this, and we're going to they would be like, what are we doing? So we're going to play the same stuff we played and play it better.
So you were a pretty big underdog last year going to Oklahoma with a pretty good offense there, a pretty good player. What allowed you guys to do something that no other defense was able to do against those guys?
No, we shortened possessions, and we fooled them a few times. So I think when you're I've been on the opposite side of that too. When you're favored by a bunch and the game's not going real well for you, there starts to become a little bit of a press factor. So I think we've got to try to hang in there and let them feel the pressure of, man, we're supposed to win by however many, and let the pressure happen, and then we got to fool them some.
With the Jeremiah getting the targeting and missing at the end of the second quarter and the whole second half. Jonathan was going to play a lot. Dominique also got a lot more snaps than Chaz. How would you assess that group right now?
Jeremiah I think is doing a great job. I was proud of John going in and playing. I thought he played well. I think he handled getting us lined up and some of those things that at halftime we were stressing. Dominique Ross I think is playing at a high level. I think Chaz Wright's playing at a really high level. I think I've got to do a better job of getting more reps for those two guys in different spots. And we had some stuff for App State, and we didn't stop the run enough to get to it. So we got to do a good job against Clemson to try and get in some longer down distance where we can get them both on the field. So
I know I asked you pleased last week, so I want to say if you're pleased with that group now. But are you comfortable with the progress rate that they're making? Have they made enough that you can see a sizable?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jeremiah has become a young man that we rely on and trust. And then Jonathan Smith, I've always kind of felt that way about. He was a veteran presence. And then Dominique and Chaz, I think, are both really good players that need to make plays for us to win. And when they have, we've played really well. When they haven't, we haven't played really well. And that position in the defense should be the position that, for a number of years now, that position has led us in tackles. So I think those two need to play at a really high level, and at times they really have, like dominating level. I thought Chaz, there were some spots against South Carolina, Chaz was dominant. So I think we've got to get him back. We've got to coach him. Tommy's doing a great job with him. We've got to coach him in a way for them to be dominant and then let them go play. And I've got to do a better job of getting them both on the field some where they can do their skill set fits the defense called.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did Strawberry's not play as much in the second half? It's like him and Tamari really split snaps. Or what's going on with the rotation there?
He got nicked up again.
Okay.
And didn't feel like we were trying to manage how many reps he really took. So we're trying to save him for some third down stuff, trying to save him for some pass rush stuff. I thought Zach Gill played really well. I thought Ray played really well when they came in for Jason. Tamari's playing all over the place right now.
Jay, how will you adjust with Wolford's problem in the secondary?
Well, I think we'll see what the doctors say. I think we've got some. We put DJ back there against App State. I thought he did well. I think Don Chapman and Cam Kelly are both really talented young guys that we're excited to play, and they're going to have to play some. But I'm excited. I thought when Cam Kelly went in, he flew around pretty good. So, I love Wolf. My son's 8. If you told me my son was going to be Miles Wolf when he's 21, I'd sign off on it right now. So I'm hopeful that we'll have him soon.